There's a raven hanging out with me. I'm sitting here waiting for the lady who is having her breakfast, to come fill my propane bottle. Yeah. Right behind me, you can see in the window there, the dirty window, is the propane station. So she says, "Can I finish my break?" And I'm like, "Sure." So it's exactly 0 degrees. See those beads there? Those are memorial beads from my father, who died of suicide in 1977. The beads come in different colors, and gold is for the sons and daughters of somebody who died from suicide. And I go to the suicide walk, I call it, every year. There's one in Anchorage. That's where you get the beads, and it's kind of breaking the stigma of suicide is what these walks are for. You know, you shine a light on something and you can actually deal with it. So it helps to prevent suicide too. Anyway, my dad, I think about him when I drive a lot, because he loved to drive. He loved cars. He loved to work on them. He loved to drive them, not fast cars. In fact, he had a little 67 Volkswagen Bug, and he used to love to drive that. And I remember he used to drive that in storms, in the snow. He would break trail. And I remember thinking, oh, I hope I can drive like that, you know, when I get older. I thought he was a great driver, and he was. So yeah, I have the beads up there to remember. There she is, my propane lady. So that lady at the gas station was really nice in apologizing over and over again as to why she could not fill up my propane bottle. I mean, she got all the way to the pump, had the handle in her hand, looked at my bottle and said, "That's too small, sir." I'm like, what? She said she's only supposed to fill up propane bottles that can take 10 pounds or more. Now mine can probably take about 5 or 6 pounds. It's a 2.5 gallon bottle. But that's not big enough. And she kept apologizing. "I'm sorry, sir, I'm not supposed to. And I made her feel okay about that. I said, "Oh, no, that's fine. I'll get it filled up at Fort Nelson, no problem." But it made me think of the old days before the corporate world took over everything, right? Corporatism. Back then, you had to fill up a propane bottle, a 2.5 galloner. You're darn tootin' that it would have got filled up, especially if it's below 0 and you're in the middle of nowhere and you needed it to keep warm at night. You would not be sent off with an empty propane bottle. That just didn't happen back in the day. The same with gas. But at the same time, it was not uncommon to wait to get your gas tank filled up, because the full service guy was probably under the hood or underneath a car in his gas station. He might not even know you're out there at the pump until he looks up. And then you have to wait for him to put his wrench down, wipe his greasy hands with an already greasy rag. Come out and service you, It might take a few minutes or 5 minutes. So, I mean, what do you want? Do you want the old days, or do you want the convenience of corporatism? I'm kind of, like most, a hybrid. I like to get away from the grid, corporatism, the man, the law. But I also need it and appreciate it, all those things. I guess that's the best of both worlds, really. Well, I got my propane bottle filled. Yeah, I was riding down the road worrying about, is there going to be any propane in Fort Nelson? Am I going to have to sleep in a hotel? Stressing a little bit when I saw this big blue sign with a P on it. Became my favorite letter in the alphabet. And I went in, it was an old lodge. Pulled into the parking lot. Had the antlers for a handle and all. There's a guy there at the counter. I said, can you fill my propane bottle? He says, how big is it? And I said, how big is it? What do you care? It's big enough. It gets the job done. Now get your ass out there and fill it. I didn't say that. He said, sure, I'll fill it for you. So we go down there to the propane tank, and I'm telling him about my troubles. Nobody will fill my little propane tank. And he actually validated that and said that most places won't fill little ones anymore. I'm like, yep, corporatism. I'm glad you're around, man. And that's not much more for us to talk about. I was watching him fill it and looked out over the countryside there, and there's a pen with bulls and cows in it. And the bull was pushing the cows away from the straw so he could have the good straw or hay or whatever it is. I don't know. And I said, and I interrupted the guy. I said, look, that bull's pushing those cows away. And he sort of looked up, and to him it was nothing, But to me it was news. And I had time now to go look at the countryside, knowing that my propane tank was going to be filled. I could sleep the way I want to in my camper, warm as I want to be. So I have time to look at cows and bulls again. And isn't that when you know your life is good?